Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
Hello, and once again, welcome back to the Morning Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Paul Markel, and I am still on the road, and hopefully during this episode, no fire engines or ambulances or police cars will drive by. But that's just the risk you take when you're recording your podcast show from a hotel room. Yes, indeed. And to my producer, who will be in the studio mixing this, adding the intro and outro music, and putting it up on the web, I do apologize for that. Yes, I do. Now, continuing on with my saga of being on the road. We left home, my wife and I, and got to our first destination, and I realized that and it's summertime when I'm recording this, and it's hot in the West, and I realized that I had left my lightweight button-down shirts, the ones that I meant to pack, I left them hanging very neatly in my closet at home. And that didn't do me a whole lot of good because we were 300 miles away from home when I realized I didn't have those shirts. So, my bride, my beloved bride, she went out and she purchased me a couple of lightweight, summer weight, button-down shirts. Now, I don't buy clothes for myself very often. Matter of fact, it's pretty rare that I buy clothes for myself. Maybe once a year, I get T-shirts that are sent to me from, manufacturers, or I'll get a T-shirt that has some kind of a quirky picture or saying on it or something. But generally, it's maybe once a year that I get clothing, whether it's shirts or pants or whatever. I don't buy clothes for myself a lot. And when I buy things, it's usually very muted tones. It would be earth tones, black. I'm a man and I have a lot of black shirts. I have a lot of navy blue shirts. I have a lot of earthen green type shirts and some khaki shirts and so forth. Well, my bride, she shows up and she says, I got you a couple of shirts. I was like, oh, great. And she pulls them out. And and it looked to me like a peach colored shirt and a purple shirt when I first saw them. And I thought to myself, what? And I said out loud, what? You bought me a peach shirt? And she assured me, no, it's not peach color. It's coral. And this is not purple. It is a shade of blue. It is an off denim blue. Okay. Now, if I were to walk into a store and go to a rack and purchase a shirt, I would never buy a coral colored shirt for myself. Never would do it. I wouldn't buy a purple shirt. I wouldn't buy a pink shirt. I wouldn't buy anything yellow or off yellow or whatever. I would never do that for myself. And certainly I wouldn't buy, one that is a coral type color. And I actually, we got to our hotel room, our second hotel, and I pulled out the ironing board and the iron, and I was standing there and I was ironing my shirts because they're obviously wrinkled from, being purchased in the store and then packed. And as I was ironing my coral shirt, I was looking down at it and I thought to myself, wives will buy you clothing that you will never buy for yourself. Now, men, for the men that are listening, I don't buy my wife clothes. Do you buy your wife clothes? I learned a long, long, long time ago as a man, as a husband, to never purchase clothing for my wife. Now, if your wife says something like, I sure would like some warm socks for Christmas or whatever, or I sure would like a coat or whatever, you might get away with that. And even buying her a coat is a stretch. You can buy her a hat, buy a winter hat or winter gloves or some warm fuzzy socks or maybe even some cartoony pajamas or a nightgown or something. But that's as close as you want to go. That's as far as you want to go. Because what you're going to buy her is going to be ridiculous because you're a man and you don't know what you're doing. Now, women and wives, on the other hand, wives will buy you clothing that you would never buy for yourself. And why is that? Is it because you're a dunderhead and you don't know how to dress yourself? I'm assuming that most of the men in the audience have accomplished the feat of dressing themselves. I'm assuming that before you had your wife or spouse or significant other, that you were able to purchase clothes for yourself and you didn't walk around the world naked before you had a wife. You actually were able to clothe yourself. So why is it that women will buy clothes for a man that he would never buy for himself? I'll tell you why, men. Listen up. It's because your wife sees something in you that no one else does. And she also sees you in a way that is different from the way that you see yourself. You look in the mirror and you see you, and you think you know you pretty well. But when your wife looks at you, she doesn't look at you like you look at yourself. She looks at you in a completely different way. She sees something in you that you don't see. And that is why wives will buy you clothing that you never in a million years would buy for yourself. They'll buy you a coral shirt because they believe that you would look good in a coral shirt. You might never think that. Or a turquoise shirt or a blue shirt or what have you. So the next time your wife buys you a shirt or pants or anything else, generally it's just shirts, right? The next time she does that and you look at it and you think, oh, I would never buy this for myself. No, you probably wouldn't. But that doesn't mean that it's not the right shirt for you. Because your wife sees something in you that you don't see. Take a moment to appreciate that. Thank you once again for everyone who has invested in the Morning Mindset book. If you have not invested in the Morning Mindset book, well, let me share it with you. Morning Mindset, a 30-day plan for a more positive and productive life. Now, it's available right now as a paperback on Amazon or as a Kindle version. Either way, think of it as a type of daily devotional / study guide to assist you on your way to leading a more positive and productive life. And I would truly appreciate it if you would check that out, either on Amazon as a paperback or as a Kindle, or it may be a good gift if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you have teenagers that are in high school, or you have kids that are getting ready to go off to college. This may be a very good book to put in their hands. I am your host, Paul Markel. I appreciate you guys all being out there, and I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.